Hey everybody, Greg Davis here. Now we created this web form in one of my earlier videos. You'll find that video on my channel. In this video we're going to create a simple PHP script to process this form and take the information that somebody typed into it and send you an email with that information. And we are also going to validate this form so people won't be able to submit it unless they type in all the required information, a valid email address, etc. So this form is going to be fully functional by the end of this video. So first let's create the PHP script that's going to take the information from the form and send that information to your email address. Let's go under File and New and just select HTML. We're going to save it as a PHP document. Even if you can't select PHP, it does virtually the same thing. So just HTML, hit Create, and let's go over to Code View. Select all this code and delete it all. And I just type in the opening PHP tag. Hit some enter. And I type in the closing PHP tag. Alright, so these are the open and close PHP tags. So you must place all of your PHP script between these tags. Now let's save this document real quick. I'm going to save it into my local site. I'm going to call it order form. And I select save as type, PHP files. Hit save, and here we go. You can see that our text turned red. That's what it should do because this is now a PHP file. So let's get going. If the submit button has been pressed, I type in if Now PHP is case sensitive, so it must be underscore post with uppercase letters, otherwise it won't work. And if the submit button has been pressed, I want to send an email. Sending plain email is very easy in PHP. It has a built-in command for that. I just type it in. It's called mail. And the first parameter is who we are going to send the email to. Just type in your own email address. I'm just going to type in your email at email.com. And the second parameter is a subject line. This is going to be the subject of your email. I just type in subject line, and the final parameter is going to be the email body copy. I'm going to use a variable for now. And I close this off. We're going to set up this variable in just a bit. I hit enter, and the next thing we need to do is after people hit submit, we want to redirect them to our thank you page. So I type in header, it's called location, and it's going to be this thank you.html page. I've already created this thank you page, and you could type in the full URL with HTTP, but since my file is in the same site folder, I don't need to do that. I hit enter and a backspace. And next, I want to make sure that someone doesn't just get to this file accidentally. So I type in else I hit enter, and if someone has come to this file without using the form, I want to redirect them back to my order page. So I type in header location order.html. And now let's set up the email body that we're going to receive every time someone submits the form. We're going to set up this email body variable. So over here, let's type in $ email body equals, and now I can just type in the body of the email. So I go back to my form, and my first form field is collecting the first name. So I go back to my PHP file and I type in first name dot $ underscore post. Go back to my form again. I select that first name text field, and the name of this text field is fname. So go back to my PHP file and I type in fname, just like that. Dot. I'm going to use Alt 92 to write a backslash and n. And this backslash n is just for a new line. I hit enter. So basically in the email I will see this text, whatever I typed in there, first name, and then right next to it I will see what the actual user typed into the form field with the name of fname. It's that simple, and the backslash n is just for a new line. And let's do this with every single form field. Go back to my form again. And my second text field is collecting the last name. So I go back to my PHP file and I type in dot last name and again we need the name of that text field, so let's go back to the form, select that last name text field, and the name of this text field is lname. So I go back to my PHP file and I type in lname, just like that. Alt 92, and that's backslash n for a new line. I hit enter. Next, I'll go back to my form, and my next text field is collecting the email address. Select that text field, and the name of this text field is just email. So I go back to my PHP file and I type in email address and it was email, just like that. Alt 92 for backslash and hit enter. Next, I go back to my form, and now I have 3 different checkboxes for product selection. I select the first one, and the name of this checkbox is products. I select the second one, and the name of this checkbox is also products. And that's not good. They have to have different names because we have to collect those 3 different data separately. So I select the first one, and it's going to be product 1. Checked value will be yes. This is what you're going to see in the email next to the actual product if selected. Select the second one. It's going to be product 2. Checked value will be yes. Third one, it's going to be product 3. Checked value will be yes. Go back to my PHP file, and I type in product 1. And the name of that checkbox was product 1, just like that. Alt 92 backslash n. And I'm just going to copy this and paste it again. I'm just going to change the numbers. Here we go. Next, I go back to my form, and I have a radio button selected, and the name of this radio button is delivery. Now, unlike checkboxes we just did, a radio button only collects one data. It's either download or box in this case. People can't select both. We could have more options, but still it only collects one data. So it's going to be just one line of code. I select the other button, and the name of that button is also delivery. And that's fine because only the checked value has to be different, which is the actual data we collect. So I go back to my PHP file, and I type in delivery. And it was delivery. Make sure you don't misspell it. Alt 92 for backslash n for a new line. Hit enter. Next, I'll go back to my form, and I have a drop-down menu which also collects just one data. I select it, and the name of this drop-down menu is customer. So I go back to my PHP file, and I type in customer it was customer backslash n for a new line. Next, I'll go back to my form, and I have a text field for comments selected, and the name of this text field is comments. So I go back to my PHP file, and I type in comments, comments. Alt 92, and next I'll go back to my form, and the last one is a single checkbox. I select it, and the name of this checkbox is terms. I'll go back to my PHP file, and I type in terms, and since I'm at the end of the variable I'm defining, I use a semicolon to exit the command, and my PHP file is ready. I'll just save it real quick, go back to my form, I select inside of my form, and on my tag selector I select my form tag, and the action of this form is gonna be the PHP file we just created. So I browse it, and the method is gonna be post, and here we go. Our form is now fully functional. We just need to validate the form, so people won't be able to submit it unless they type in all the information we require. And we're gonna use JavaScript to validate the form. Dreamweaver has a pretty good JavaScript for form validation, so that's what we're going to use. I select the submit button, and let's go under window and select behaviors. Click this little plus button, and I choose validate form. And for the first name, I'm going to select required, and I'm going to accept anything, any kind of characters. I select name or last name. I'm going to select required, and I'm going to accept anything. Next, I select the email. I'm going to select required, and I'm going to accept email address only. And I'm not going to do any more restrictions, so I just hit OK. And you can see that this behavior is going to run on click every time someone hits the submit button. Let's preview it in a browser. Yes, save changes. And as you can see, if I hit the submit button without typing in all the required information, I get this pop-up message. Awesome. Now, I'm not going to test the email sending script. I know it works. I used it before. Go ahead and test it if you want. Just make sure you upload everything to your web server, because if you try it on your computer, it won't work. You have to upload everything to your web server. So that's it for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more videos from me, go to my website, easywebdesignsystem.com, and join my list and follow me on Twitter. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.